Welcome back to another episode of Urban Ave Crypto. I'm Thomas Bain. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. In today's video, we're going to be talking about CBDCs and stablecoins. But before we get into that talk, I'm going to go over some clips that I've seen on Common Sense Crypto channel. One of the clips I'm going to show you, he's talking about the glitch that occurred, I guess it was maybe Thursday, something of the sort. Then another clip I'm going to show you, he's talking about tokenization. He's showing a video with the present day SEC chairman talking about tokenization. And then I'm going to show you another clip where in his video, he's talking about the transactions on the XRP ledger basically increasing. And I'm sorry for the noise. I am outside. I've just been spending time outside a lot, right? So let's get into the video. Let's get into the first clip.
This comes from John Squire. Boom. A wild glitch just showed $691,667 per XRP on a live tracker. Glitch, error, or is the system telling us something early? I always said these glitches that we see, I think it's them testing XRP at different price points. You got to remember, the banks are still in the testing phase. Once the banks go live, that's when we will see a much different price on XRP. Now, could you imagine XRP already breaking out and those banks coming out of the testing phase at the same time?
So I want to know what you guys think. You see the glitch that occurred on the PRX. Wink, wink. PRX. Look at the screen and you would know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you watch my video on my update, what I was going to be updating on the channel, you would know. So I'm going to say it again. On the PRX ledger, wink, wink, look at the screen. You would see what I'm talking about. They're talking about a glitch that occurred that was $691.06. Let me say that again. $691,667. Now, guys, this John Squire dude found this on some live tracker, right? I don't know what the live tracker is, but I'm just trying to show you where the prices of XRP needs to be. This is a 6-digit number. Now, PRX has glitched to different numbers many a times. And I have seen numbers in the millions. I have seen numbers in the low thousands. I have seen numbers in the mid thousands, right? The glitches. The one thing that he did get right when he mentioned about the glitch, I'm talking about Common Sense Crypto. When he mentions the glitch, he says that this is them testing different prices on the PRX network. I do think and believe that they are testing different amounts of money, not price points, because they're not. How are they going to test price points, right? They just going to type in a number in the computer? No, it's the amount of money that they're bringing onto the PRX ledger is how they can test the prices, right? So when they bring it on to the PRX ledger, they're able to see how much money value will convert the price of the coin, if that made sense. So basically, if they bring over a certain amount of money onto the PRX ledger, then they would see what the price of PRX needs to be, right? That's what they're going to do. That's what they're doing. That's how you're seeing these glitches. But just take a look. It's a 6-digit number. I've been telling you guys that PRX needs to be a high number in order to move the money. I've been saying this. I've been preaching this to you guys. It has to be a high number. It cannot be a low number, right? People talk about $10,000 per PRX, $500 per PRX. No, PRX needs to be 6-digit numbers, 7-digit numbers in order to move the amount of money value it's going to be moving. I've been preaching this for a long time, for the whole time, right? So when he says that, that they're testing different price points, they're testing different prices. Yeah, but they're testing it based on the amount of money value they're bringing over. And money value could be gold, it could be silver, it could be oil, it could be palladium, it could be wheat, it could be rice, it could be anything that is valuable. Anything that's valuable, right? I think that's all I have for that video right now. So let's check out the next video.
Institutional asset managers will begin tokenizing their assets by the end of 2025. And you see it right here. 22% plan to begin tokenizing their assets by the end of this year. And Atkins is opening that.
As we see in that video, he says that asset managers will begin tokenizing their assets by the end of 2025. Now, that post that he's showing is a ex-post by this guy Smoke. Now, I hear a lot of YouTubers talking about this guy Smoke, mentioning him in a lot of their stuff, as if he's like this, I don't even know what to call him, right? But they look to him, it seems like, for a lot of their information. I heard about some of the things he said, and some of the things that he said, in my opinion, is not even correct. In my opinion, it's not correct. Some of the things he says is like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, I get that. Some of the things he says, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Nah, you're bugging, all right? Like, he doesn't, in my opinion, know everything that he's talking about. It doesn't all make sense, in my opinion. But the fact that they're mentioning about tokenization of assets beginning at the end of 2025, no, that's something that he's incorrect about. Tokenization, again, as I mentioned before in other videos, tokenization has been happening in Dubai since the year 2000, okay? 2000. That's the year after 1999. So in the year 2000, Dubai already started tokenizing their whole economy. Now, ask yourself this. Do you think that Dubai was the only country to start tokenizing their economy in the year 2000? If your answer is no, you're completely correct. Dubai was not the only country to do it in the year 2000. A lot of countries started doing it in the year 2000, including the United States of America. So the fact that a lot of these guys want to come out and they're regurgitating the things that they're hearing from these institutions and they're hearing from these business owners, you're dumb or you're just misinformed, okay? You're not doing the proper research. They had the video on YouTube where the lady who was running the economy of Dubai, she admitted that they started tokenizing Dubai's economy since the year 2000. And when I went to look for the video, they took the video down. The video was no longer on YouTube. Just like I went to find the clip of David Schwartz talking about the PRX ledger moving $36 billion in transactions last year in 2024. He said that they moved $36 billion on the PRX ledger. I can't even find it anymore. And that's one clip that I have been screaming and yelling about in a lot of my videos. Now I can't find the clip to bring it to you guys to show it to you because it seems like they removed it from the video that it was originally in with some editing magic, all right? But the tokenization is not going to begin at the end of 2025, okay? You just had, what's this guy's name? When he was in Davos, oh my God, what is his name? The guy who runs BlackRock. He just came out and said that they need to pass the legislation so that they can start doing things with tokenization. And I say again to people, when you hear them mention it out loud, is because they already started doing it or it's already done. They do not tell you that they're going to do something before they do it. They're not your friend. They're not your best friend. They're not your uncle or your aunt or your cousin. They're nobody to you. They don't care. They don't owe the public any type of explanation as to when and if they're going to do something, if that's what they want to do, or if that's what they're going to do. It's already done. The tokenization is already done. The fact that these people come out and they start telling y'all that, oh, by this time, no, they already did it already. It's done already. They're not waiting. It's no need to wait. Tokenization already happened. What you're gonna start to see is you're gonna start to see it show up, right? And then but by that time, it's already done, so nobody's not even gonna go back and check people's records and fact check them to see where they were misspeaking. It's already done. You're gonna start to see a lot of things just pop up and there's tokenized already. And furthermore, like a lot of things will be tokenized, you're not even gonna know that it's tokenized. I mean, most regular people are not gonna know, only if you're in this space, right? Just like, everybody's talking about, the payment system is gonna change. The payment system, I have news for you guys. The payment system has already made a change. Today I went to make my car insurance payment. Now, normally, if I make my payment on a Saturday, it doesn't leave my account until Monday because, banks don't normally move money and things like that on a Saturday. Well, guess what? Today, I went to make my car insurance payment and it left my account instantly, right now, quickly. That doesn't happen. I mean, my money left my account. It didn't say pending, nothing. It completely left my account. Gone. Instantly. You tell me if you think it's waiting. I also encourage you guys to go and look at your payments that you're making and see if the payments is going through right away. Payments that normally will take a day or 2 or 3 days, check and see if when you make those payments, if the money is leaving your account right away. That is already giving you the signal and the sign that we are already on this new payment system, okay? I don't know what's going on with the prices of the stuff, but I think we're already running on top of this new stuff already. I mean, that's just something I saw for myself, okay? Let's get over to the other clip.
Ones, they look more likely in 2026 and 2027. But I'm expecting transactions to pick up on the ledger. We're seeing more wallet addresses now. People are getting excited about XRP again. Everything's changing in this space.
So in this video, this video clip, I'm sorry if you hear me smacking myself. I'm trying to smack off these mosquitoes. But in this clip, he's talking about, transactions increasing, the amount of transactions increasing on the PRX ledger by 2026, 2027. They have already been moving money on the PRX ledger. They have already been doing that. And they have been moving tons of money. As I said already earlier in the video, they moved $36 billion in transactions on the PRX ledger in 2024. They moved that amount. What is this guy talking about? I don't know. Again, this is what I talk about when I say that these people do not do their research properly, or they don't retain the information. I'm not too sure exactly what it is, but something is not clicking because it seems like they just miss all of these different parts of information that's being given out. $36 billion in transactions, okay, was already running on. So whatever he thinks it's going to go or going to do, it already did that already. What they have to do now is they have to see about moving trillions of dollars on the PRX ledger. That's what they have to see right now, is running trillions of dollars. Once they get to that point, now we're talking about something. But 2026, 2027, no. Stop listening to David Schwartz when he tells you another 3 to 5 years. Stop listening to Brad Garlinghouse when he says the same BS. It's all BS. It's not another 3 to 5 years. It's not 2026 or 2027 or 2026 and 2027. It's not that. It is going to happen this year, whether you believe it or not. It is happening this year. And the only way it wouldn't happen this year is if they do something to hold it back again. But it is happening this year. What they're doing is they're just fooling everyone. When FedNow kicks in, when the SWIFT system kicks in, that's going to be a lot of transactional money moving. And that's this year. Because by November of this year, everybody has to be on the SWIFT, has to come off of SWIFT and get on to the new ISO standard. Everyone. They have to. Like, there's no waiting, right? So this, I'm not too sure why people keep putting this type of stuff out, but it's really stupid and really dumb to do that. But that's enough of that. Let's get into the other information and the other reason why you're here, right? So we're going to be talking about CBDCs and stablecoins, and the fact that stablecoins are actually stablecoin cash, but they leave the cash part out because they don't want people to know that stablecoins are really the new cash. So if you're not aware, there is a difference between cash and a difference between money. Just like it's a difference between stablecoins and it's a difference between CBDCs. So money is something that the banks use. Cash is something that we use. Now, you might be like, yeah, but I have money in my bank account. Right, you have money in your bank account. That money belongs to the bank. You use the money from the bank. The cash that's in your pocket, you own that cash. You have custody over that cash that's in your pocket, right? The money that's in the bank is sitting down there as zeros and ones in the computer database. The bank is actually taking your money that you have in your bank and they're using it to do business. It's the bank's money. You only really have, ownership over the cash that you have in your pocket. You don't have ownership of your money that's in the bank. If you notice what I'm doing, I am basically separating the two because they are two different things. I mean, you could go look it up online, or you can read the clip that I'm going to show you. So let's read the definition of money. Money is any generally accepted item or verifiable record used as a medium of exchange for goods and services and for the repayment of debts. It functions as a store of value and a unit of account, meaning it can be held for future purchases and used to express prices. Essentially, money simplifies economic transactions by providing a common standard of value. Now, does that sound like cash? No. That sounds like how the banks operate with money, how we operate with money that's in our bank account, right? That's what that sounds like. Now, let's go and let's read the definition of cash. Cash refers to physical currency, like coins and paper money, and also includes readily available funds in bank accounts that can be used for transactions. It is a widely accepted form of payment for goods and services. In accounting, cash is considered a current asset, representing the most liquid form of money a business possesses, according to Investopedia. So I got all of these definitions off of Google, right? But understand how in this definition, they actually separate the two. They separate money from cash and they separate cash from money. They're not the same. And that goes for CBDCs and stablecoins. CBDCs are going to be the new forms of money. Stablecoins are going to be the new forms of cash. So let's go on and let's read the definition of stablecoins. And by the way, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And I would like to thank you for getting this far into the video. Also, I have a video that I posted about stablecoins some months back. I'm probably going to pin it to this video so that you can go and you can check that out. All right. So let's get over and let's read the definition of stablecoin. A stablecoin is a type of currency designed to minimize price volatility, typically by being pegged to a stable asset like the US dollar. Now, I have something to say about that before I continue reading. None of these stablecoins are pegged to the US dollar. None of them. I found a clip of someone admitting that, and I forgot to bookmark it so that I can use it in my videos. But it was a person that is actually from a stablecoin company that admitted that stablecoins were never pegged to the US dollar. I have been saying that for the longest because I'm just smart when it comes to this stuff. They're not pegging none of these things to the US dollar. You can't peg the stable coin to something that has no value, okay? But the person admitted it. And they also admitted that USDT was never pegged to the US dollar either. USDT is actually pegged to Bitcoin. That's how they're able to create so much USDT. And USDT is really not that bad of a stable coin, even though people like to talk bad about it. I actually wanted to do a video about it, and I'm probably going to do it. All right, but let me get back to this. Unlike cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, whose values fluctuate significantly, stablecoins aim to maintain a consistent value, making them more suitable for everyday transactions and as a store of value. That's stablecoins. Now, let's go on to read CBDCs. A CBDC, or central bank digital currency, is a digital form of a country's official currency, issued and controlled by the central bank. It's essentially a digital version of physical cash, but existing only electronically. Unlike cryptocurrencies, CBDCs are backed by the government and regulated by the central bank. Now, does that in any way, shape, or form sounds like stablecoins? Does that in any way, shape, or form sounds like that's going to be used for regular schmegular payments every day? Does that sound like regular folks are going to be using CBDCs every day? I mean, again, you can rewind the video and you can look at each definition that I'm showing you, and you can read it, and you can, try to absorb the information yourself. These stuff are not the same. CBDCs and stablecoins are not the same. All right? Stablecoins are going to be used for transactions on an everyday basis, right? To buy goods and services. That's what it's going to be used for. It's also going to be used as a store of value. When you look at CBDC, it doesn't say that whatsoever on there. Now, it does say, right, that it is a digital version of physical cash. It does say that, but that's just like money. Money is just another form of cash, but they're both different. And you have to understand that they're both different. You have to understand, which is where they're confusing people and getting people twisted, because there's a lot of people that don't understand that there's a difference that there is a difference between cash and a difference between money, because we were programmed to think that money and cash are the same thing, and they're not. Cash is what you have in your pocket. Money is what you have in your bank account. Money is actually what banks use to do business. That's what central bank digital currencies are going to be. Central bank digital currencies are going to be a currency that is created and used for banks to do business. And those central bank digital currencies are going to look like PRX and MLX. That's what that's what CBDCs are going to look like. It's going to basically be those two currencies. Those two cryptocurrencies, that's what are going to be central bank digital currencies. Now, USDC, USDT, RLUSD, those are going to be stablecoin cash, right? So everyday folks are going to use stablecoin cash, and banks are going to use CBDCs, because when banks settle their transactions, even though they may be moving $1 trillion in an hour, they're not actually moving that money, right? Because the way how the banking system works today, they're not moving the money right away. So they basically settle their payments at the end of the day, which is what SWIFT does. SWIFT moves the money at the end of the day for all of the banks. That's what companies and cryptocurrencies like PRX and MLX are going to do. They're going to settle the transactions either right then or by the end of the day. That's how those things are going to be used, right? So it's basically going to be something you can look at as like, if you want to fill up a bucket of water and you want to get the water from your garage to the back of the house, right? You're going to either going to carry it, or you're going to put it on some type of hand truck or something to get it to the back of the house, right? But somehow, someway, you have to move that bucket of water. Now, if you have a cup of water, you can just fill up the cup of water and take it and walk it to the back, because it's just easier to do that. So you can do that right away, whereas to move the bucket of water, you have to go through a process to move that bucket of water. I hope that analogy made sense. I tried to make it make sense. I hope it did at the end. But that's basically how it's going to be, right? But CBDCs and stablecoins, they're not the same. They're actually two different things. But people just seem to keep getting it wrong, right? PRX and MLX, those two things are going to be CBDCs. They're going to operate like CBDCs, whereas USDC, RLUSD, and USDT, they're going to basically be stablecoin cash, because there's a difference between CBDCs and stablecoins. But a lot of YouTubers are telling people the wrong thing. They're different. So everyday purchases, when you get paid, when you go to the store, the money that you're gonna have, let me not say the money. Well, it will be the money until you turn it to stablecoin cash. So the money that you would have in your account will be whatever stablecoin until you move it out of your account and put it into your digital wallet. Then it will be stablecoin cash. It may work something like that. I could be mixing that part up, because everyone is going to have a digital wallet. Everyone is going to have a digital wallet. So people are not going to be using they're not going to be using like PRX or MLX to do purchases. No one is going to be using it. No regular people, right? Maybe people that's been invested in these things for a long time may use their tokens that way, but everyday people are not. Everyday folks are going to be getting paid and paying bills using stable coins. That's how they're going to be using it. But I hope you were able to get something from this video. I hope you were able to get an understanding of CBDCs and stablecoins, and understanding that they're both two different things. Like I said, stablecoins will be used by the banks and the banks only. Stablecoins will be used by regular folks to pay bills and to buy goods and services. I mean, that's really it. That's how stablecoins will be used. CBDCs will not be used like that. Not at all. All right? So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming over and visiting me. I'm Thomas Bain. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I'm out of here.